and I raised the window and it caught the barrels of both guns. And so I see them wiggling the rifle and the handgun, and without notice, they open fire into the cabin of the Suburban. And I see Jaime get hit on his side, and he yells out, "I'm hit." My hearing is gone. I still have hearing loss. I have permanent hearing loss on my left ear because they're firing the handgun right next to my ear. That eventually I tell Jaime, "Go, go, go, go." I start wrestling with the handgun and burn my hand. Try to wiggle it. Eventually they pull out both guns. The window goes up. I raise the window. It goes up, and they just start spraying with bullets, over 100 rounds on that side. And I tell Jaime, "Go, go, go." Jaime was already becoming unresponsive. I put the Suburban in gear. I push his knee onto the gas, and we crash the Suburban that's in front of us, blocking us. I'm trying to get the Suburban back on Highway 57, but it really just rolls into the median. And I'm trying to steer the steering wheel back on Highway 57, but at that point the Suburban was destroyed. It was disabled. The tires were flat. The vehicle didn't start anymore at that point, and they continue shooting. And I'm attending to Jaime because he was shot several times, and it was shot lethally, was with the AK-47 round in his left leg, and so there was a tremendous amount of bleeding. But at the same time that's going on, I see the Suburbans take off, or their SUVs of the Zetas, and one of them turns around and does a U-turn, and they come back and park in front of the Suburban, and two of them get out, and they look at me, I look at them, and they just start shooting through the window in these two spots. And if you go online, you can see the picture of the Suburban, and I just kind of freeze there, and they run back into the Suburban, they leave. And at that point, I realized that I still hadn't realized that I had been shot myself 3 times, once in the chest and twice in my leg. And I'm attending to Jaime. I get on the phone. I call the U.S. Embassy. That phone call is recorded, and you could find it online, where I call out that we are shot. We are shot on the highway. I'm an ICE special agent, Victor Avila. Eventually, I get to directly call the Mexican Federal Police, the commander that ran our vetted unit, who was able to dispatch a helicopter. So all that is said and done, it took about 40 minutes, which in the law enforcement world is a long, long time to be waiting there. And it was a very, very, as you can imagine, a very scary time. And I tried to do as much as I could to keep Jaime conscious at that time.
So you're sitting in the car at this moment. Jaime, you say he's kind of in and out of consciousness at this time, is he? He's been hit, I believe, 5 times.
I think so. I don't know the exact number of times on the side, but really the one that I was concerned with, it was the leg that he was bleeding a lot through there.
So, and at the same time, you've also been hit 3 times, is it?
3 times.
So you're not feeling your consciousness is going. You're trying to keep him in and out of consciousness during 40 minutes. I mean, what did that seem like? I mean, what was your memory? I mean, is it kind of blocked out of that time, or do you remember it very sharply? What's your memory like of that moment?
I remember it very sharply, and I tell the story a lot, and every time there's always something that will always. I know just last year, for example, something that I hadn't thought about or remembered a lot was the smell, and I get a little bit of shivers telling you as I tell you the story, but. It's the smells of not so much the gunpowder, because I've been able to shoot guns afterwards and all that, and that's okay, but different smells of blood and other smells inside the cabin that have come back so many years later. And we're talking about 10 years later, and this was happened just last year for me.